Have you ever opened your closet and found a piece that made you pause? Not because you loved it, but because you thought, why did I ever wear this? Maybe it was a trend you followed because everyone else was wearing it, or maybe it felt exciting at the time, but now it just feels dated, forgotten, maybe even a little funny. Today we're going to walk through 15 fashion trends that didn't stand the test of time, with a little twist. This is the Over 50 edition.
Why?
Because if you've lived long enough to see fashion repeat itself, you know that not everything deserves a comeback. And honestly, some things should stay right where they belong, in the past. This isn't about judgment. It's about learning to laugh at the things we've worn, celebrating how far we've come, and using that wisdom to make better, more elegant choices going forward. Let's begin with one of the most notorious trends in fashion history: low-rise jeans. Remember those? The kind that sat somewhere around your hip bones and required Olympic-level posture to wear without discomfort or an accidental reveal. These jeans were everywhere in the early 2000s, and for many women, they were a nightmare. They cut the body in the worst place, emphasized the stomach, and offered no support. Looking back, it's clear this was a trend that flattered almost no one and aged everyone the second they moved. Mercifully, high-waisted and mid-rise silhouettes have made their well-deserved return, and we are never going back. Next up, velour tracksuits. You know the ones. They were shiny, stretchy, and often had rhinestone lettering on the backside. Comfortable?
Sure. Chic?
Not exactly. While they might have felt glamorous in a kind of celebrity airport way, they aged quickly, both in trend lifespan and in how they actually looked on the body. These sets often lost shape after a few washes, clung to every curve, and turned from trendy to tired in no time. Today, we know loungewear can be elevated: soft knits, fine cottons, neutral palettes. Comfort doesn't have to mean compromising style. Now, let's talk about cold shoulder tops. Oh yes, this one had a long run, and some women still cling to it. The idea was clever: show a little skin without going sleeveless. But in practice, it created an odd cutout that drew attention to the shoulders in a way that didn't flatter most body types. Worse, it became a default choice in so many mature women collections that it felt like it was assigned to us, as if after 50, we were only allowed to show shoulder and nothing else. But guess what? You're allowed to wear sleeveless. You're allowed to show your arms or not. You don't need cutouts to be feminine. Style should never be dictated by what the industry assumes we should wear. Do you remember bubble skirts? They were everywhere in the mid-2000s, gathered at the hem to create a balloon effect that made even the most delicate figure look like they had pillows strapped to their hips. These skirts added volume in all the wrong places, and few survived the trend with dignity. When it comes to skirts today, fluid movement, clean lines, and subtle draping reign supreme. Elegance is about silhouette and balance, not gimmicky volume. Speaking of volume, we cannot forget peplum tops. For a brief moment, they were seen as the holy grail of flattering fashion, designed to accentuate the waist and add shape. But over time, they often ended up exaggerating the midsection or feeling stiff and unnatural. The idea wasn't entirely wrong. We do want shape, but exaggerated peplums turned into a costume rather than a compliment. Today, we opt for tailored fits, subtle tucks, and belted structures that create shape without shouting for attention. Another trend that didn't quite make it: extreme distressing in jeans. A small rip here and there?
Fine.
But fully shredded, thigh-to-ankle jeans? That's a no. While they may have symbolized rebellion or youth at one point, they quickly aged into trying too hard territory. For women over 50, intentionality is key. We don't need to prove we're edgy. Confidence speaks louder than holes. Let's not forget the super chunky statement necklaces, those oversized, rhinestone-covered bibs that sat like armor on your collarbone. They had a moment, and we wore them over everything: plain tees, dresses, button-downs. But they quickly became heavy, visually and literally. Today, refined accessories say so much more. A single chain, a string of pearls, a sculptural earring. Sophistication lives in restraint. Another accessory misstep? Tiny handbags that fit nothing but a mint. Yes, they're adorable, but functionality matters. If a bag can't hold your keys, phone, and lipstick, it's not for real life. Style over 50 is about living, not just looking. The bags we choose today combine form and function, clean structure, neutral color, soft leather, the kind that elevates a look while actually supporting your lifestyle.
Now we have to talk about neon everything.
Highlighters are for paper, not your wardrobe. While a pop of color can be fun, neon tones tend to cast unnatural hues onto the skin, emphasize shadows and lines, and overpower every other part of your outfit. Today, we choose vibrance with depth, emerald instead of lime, sapphire instead of electric blue, wine instead of fuchsia. Color that complements, not competes. Remember cropped bolero jackets? Meant to be chic, often just awkward. They cut the body at strange points, rarely matched anything else in the outfit, and made layering more complicated than it needed to be. Today, if we want to layer, we go for flowy kimonos, tailored blazers, or soft cardigans that elongate and frame rather than chop and confuse. Let's also let go of platform flip-flops. At some point, we believed they were cool. The reality? They were clunky, loud, and honestly dangerous. Shoes are one of the first things people notice. Clean, simple, supportive footwear doesn't have to be boring. It has to be intentional. And if you're still holding onto those 2002 foam platforms, it's time. Speaking of nostalgia, graphic tees with sayings like, "I'm too glam to give a damn." Ladies, we've evolved. Our style speaks for us now. We don't need to wear our sass on our shirt. A crisp white blouse or a fine knit sweater says far more about confidence than any rhinestone quote ever could. Another trend that tried to linger, leggings as pants. Now don't get me wrong, leggings have their place. But worn solo with a short top? That's lounge, not look. We can be comfortable and composed. Swap them for ponte knit pants, tailored joggers, or high-quality leggings layered with long tunics or dresses. Structure always wins. And remember shoulder cutouts with slits, ties, and asymmetry all at once? When a piece of clothing tries too hard to be trendy, it loses timelessness. Over-design dates quickly. Today, clean lines, subtle detail, and beautiful fabrics do all the talking. Lastly, the overlayered boho look, a mix of crochet, fringe, floppy hats, beaded sandals, tie-dye all at once. Boho has its charm, but too many elements together start to look like costume, not style. As we mature, we realize that one focal point is more powerful than 5. If you love boho, choose one element, a flowy skirt, a long pendant necklace, and let it shine. So there you have it, 15 trends that didn't stand the test of time. And if you wore them, guess what?
So did I.
So did all of us. That's what makes fashion fun. It evolves. We evolve. And that's what real style is. Not following every trend, but curating what serves your essence, your energy, and your now. Which one of these trends made you smile or cringe? Which ones did you proudly wear, and which ones will you never revisit again? Let's laugh, reflect, and celebrate our journey together in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's been through these trends right alongside you. Because fashion fades, but wisdom? That's forever.